Well, hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up, Those Daring Defenders. We are up to the next part in the Avengers-Defenders War, Avengers 117, yay! I just finished reading it again. I love this comic. I love this crossover. But I've been saying that since we started covering it. So give me a second. I'm going to get set up and I'm going to give you some data and then the synopsis and then I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Okay, here we go. Avengers, Volume 1, number 117. Release date August 14th, 1973. Cover date November 1973. The cover is by John Romita Jr., Mike Esposito, and David Crespi. It is a lovely cover. It's got Cap and Submariner fighting atop of a structure. They're the ones that have gone to Japan. You can see Sunfire's arm stealing the evil eye. And then you've got some Avenger heads underneath the title. It's the first time since they went to the Vision in the corner that we have any kind of Avenger heads. This looks like the ones that you would have seen in the corner box. And I'm a little fixated on corner box stuff, so that's just fine and dandy. So I want to mention corner box stuff. But it's a great cover. It's a great cover. Let's give you the credits for this book. This book's titled Holocaust. It is chapters 7 and 8 of the Avengers-Defenders Wars, but this one is called Holocaust, and I'm finding the little synopsis in the database, and this is just the overview. That's all I'm going to do is the overview. They've got a longer version, but we don't need that. We just need the basics. So, Dormammu discovers the Avengers are trying to stop the Defenders from getting all the pieces of the evil eye. Loki convinces that he has no idea why they're doing this. Swordsman and Valkryie end up in a castle in the jungles of Bolivia, battling over the piece of the evil eye. The castle owner attacks Swordsman, which allows Valkryie to escape with the item. Captain America and Namor fight for their piece for the evil eye in Japan. However, they are interrupted by Sunfire, who takes the fragment for himself. Cap and Namor team up to retrieve it, and Cap realizes that Loki must have been tricking the Avengers all along. That is a very precise, very short synopsis, but I'm going to go kind of through the comic book page by page a little bit, more so than I have in the past. It's a great splash page with Dormammu and Loki watching the Avengers and Defenders fight. You've got Scarlet Witch unconscious, the Vision battling Silver Surfer like he did 2 issues ago, last issue of the Avengers. You've got Black Panther and Black Manus fighting Doctor Strange. You got Hawkeye fighting Iron Man, and Dormammu goes, "What is this? The Avengers are fighting the Defenders?" And then we cut away to Dormammu's place, and he's pissing and moaning that, someone is clued the Avengers in. And look, I don't know who could do that. My. I'm blind and helpless without you, poor Dormammu. Dormammu, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. But now let's get to this. I'm going to give you the lineups of that we see in the book. We see two Avengers and 2 Defenders. The Avengers, it's Swordsman and Cap. It's Valkyrie and Submariner for the Defenders, and guest starring Sunfire, who was yet to become an X-Men, but he will later this year, I think. Because I don't think Giant Size 1 has come out at this point. So we then cut to Chapter 7, which is the Swordsman versus the Valkyrie. What's weird is they designed them logos. Like Cap and Submariner, there is the more traditional logo when we get to their chapter. Let me make sure that I'm telling the truth by skipping ahead a bit. I kind of like them. They're very 70s, slanted, action-y kind of logos. But you see, it starts with the Swordsman flying a Quinjet to this castle. There are more Nazi castles per capita in South America in 60s and 70s comics. It's ridiculous. But it's got a great little monologue it starts with a great monologue by the Swordsman. He's trying to, he's lamenting that last time he was here, he fought the Avengers for the Mandarin, which was Giant Size Special 1, which was, I think, pre-annual. It's a long, long time ago. And he's on this basic redemption arc. And Swordsman he feels like he's wasted his life. Mantis has got him to rejoin the Avengers and bring her along. because she knows he could be a better man, and he's really striving to do that. And I like it when a villain joins the Avengers. Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, a redemption arc. It's got a great, on the second page, you got Valkryie on Aragon, attack the Quinjet with her sword. He's still able to land, and then he meets the creepy... What guy buys a Nazi castle in the middle of Bolivia? Come on, Swordsman. This guy's got to be shady, but he trusts the guy. He goes in, and then there's a great sword fight on pages, I guess it's 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7. And it's nicely drawn. I'm reading it in this very beat up trade back, but it's really well colored in here. And it's just beautifully drawn by Bob Brown. I'm really fixated on Bob Brown. I did a little reading on him. I'm going to do an episode about him coming up. So I'm going to do some homework. But it's a wonderful fight scene. The bad guy goes into the fight goes on for couple pages. There's sword fights on stairways, running down sides on stair rails. There's the old Errol Flynn trick where you grab a curtain to lower yourself, and then you go and you use your sword to slow it down as you cut down. And busting in tables, but they go into the guy's own has a treasure room where the evil eye is, and he thinks they're there to steal his stuff, so he shoots the swordsman in the back. Valkyrie wants to get Swordsman help, but he says, no, I have to keep the evil eye. I have to prove myself to the Avengers. She gets away, but she really is enamored with his chivalry and his sword play and has a lot of respect for him. I kind of like that. I like that bit. And then we move to Chapter 8, which is Captain America versus Submariner. They are in Osaka, and they start fighting. When Cap gets there, Submariner already has it. They start fighting. This is before the invaders, so there's none of this. Because Submariner makes a comment to Cap that, it's been years since they last battled, which was Avengers 4, which is 113 issues ago. And they have a great fight scene. Bob Brown has got some really dynamic... There's a little Cockrum in here. I'm going to have to look at something. Sometimes some of these panels are very Cockramy. It must be the finishing. Oh, I did not give you the credits. Hold on. Writer Steve Englert, duh. Penciler William Robert, Bob Brown. Inkers Mike Esposito and Frank McLaughlin. I think it's the McLaughlin inks, as I've noticed. Colorist Petra Goldberg. Letterer June Braverman. Jasper Saladino, editor Roy Thomas. Now back to where we were, which is Cap battling Submariner. They end up in the water, and they're battling. Cap throws... Submariner tries to dive into the water. Cap throws his shield upside down, so Submariner lands on it, is kind of floating on it. They start fighting, and then Sunfire, a mutant and a rabid nationalist citizen of Japan, gives them a lecture on international boundaries, and they continue to fight. And that's when Submariner and him, they have a long conversation, as you would in old fight scenes, especially in the Steve Englehart one, where Submariner tells Cap why he's doing this, and Cap's like, wait a minute, that doesn't jibe with what the facts. What about time is fleeting? But so Submariner bolts. He knocks Sunfire unconscious. Cap catches the evil eye, and then Submariner lands in front of him. And then they decide to join forces that they're being manipulated. And the last panel is them flying off, Cap and his Quinjet, and Submariner next to him, and they fly, and we're going to see them again. Chapter 9 and 10. Chapter 9 is Hulk versus Thor, and that will be in Defenders 10, which will be a lot of fun. And then Chapter 10 is the setup before the finale of, not the finale. This has got a 2-issue finale. I really liked it. It was a lot. I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, it is really just an intro, and then 2 extended fight scenes with some character development. Character development. I liked it. This swordsman stuff, I really dig this here. I mean, because it was like really early on in my Avengers reading, and I've said it, that this is an important lineup to me. The Swordsman is a great redemption arc. Englehart, it's a finite number of issues. His story ends in the next couple of years during the Kang Wars. and it's really good. But this is really ended up. I really like this. We got 3 more issues, and then we're done with it. I liked it. This is one of my favorite chapters, the Swordsman Valkryie one. I think the art's beautiful. I like both of those characters. I have an affinity. I mean, they were big. She was a big hero in the 70s, I think. I think as a star of the Defenders from issue 4 on until the end of the book, she is a major player in Marvel. She's in a lot of team-up books, but they didn't give a lot of newbies ongoing series. And some of the ones that tried in the 70s failed, like Nova didn't do well and others didn't do well. And I just, the characters are good. It's just sometimes, there's only so many books that people can buy. And I think that's kind of with me. It's like I was in a Twitter thing with a New Warriors fan today, and they're asking me when I got into it. And because they saw a post, I said how much I liked it. But I said it's the reason I never read it in the 90s, because I was kind of had to be tight with money. And I think sometimes the single heroes, like I think Valkryie could have supported her own book. If you had the right writer and the right artist, she's a good enough character. Good God, yeah, get a woman writer and a good artist to do it. I think you could have done a really good job. I think the guys mean well creating her, but I do think she suffers a little bit. She's still my favorite of the 3, and I like the other 2 a lot. So the Valkyries. But I really like that stuff with Swordsman. He laments. I like Englehart's writing. It's it's not what a modern comic fan may like. I don't know, but I really love his work, and it's just a fun battle. It's got cheesy Nazi castles in the South American jungle, which are kind of a trope in Avengers comics and Marvel comics specifically. Less specifically in the 60s and 70s. And the Cap Submariner one was good. I like seeing Sunfire. Sunfire will eventually soon become a member of the new X-Men and then quit after 2 issues. And then he'll be a member of the Uncanny Avengers, which was a series the first batch I liked. The second run, not so much. And the third one I loved a lot. So maybe years before we get to that. And I may cover those because I really do like those comics. I think it's in a good lineup. There's some event stuff going on that kind of fiddles with it. I like having Havoc as an Avenger. If you're not ever going to make Scott an Avenger, let Alex be an Avenger. And then they screwed up Alex again. They do it. I've liked him in about 3 titles, and it's always when he's a fish out of water, more so. And then someone comes back and just makes him a bad guy or does something stupid to him because he's a Summers brother, and they get screwed with. But it's the Cap and Submariner one is, and more really good Bob Brown art. It's just wonderful. So that's it for this one. Next issue is Thor versus the Hulk, and the teams get together are the kind of the prompt thing, and then we have the final battle, and then we have the Defenders go back in past to find the Black Knight finally. So enjoy. Go ahead, read ahead on the app. This is all on the app. I'm reading it in an old trusty trade I've had for a long time. But enjoy it. This weekend, I haven't decided what I'm going to do this Saturday. A lot's been going on, as I said, Tuesday with just work and other things keeping me distracted. But I think I'm just going to pull something off my shelf and read something and then talk about it. I don't know what it's going to be, DC or Marvel. It was Marvel. It was DC last week with Jim, so maybe something Marvel-y. Maybe I'll read another New Warriors bit. Wouldn't kill me. Want to also let you know I'm gonna start doing my Sandman. Look for my Sandman like mini one or 2 sentence reviews. Issue 7's gonna go up tonight. I've really had no bandwidth for reading that, and I'm gonna start reading Bone. I have the complete one. I've never read it. I've read the first couple volumes when they're in trades, and then didn't keep up. So I'm gonna kind of read a little bit of that. I'm trying to mix some indie stuff in with all the superhero flavor. I got another Doctor Who comic book podcast to record this weekend, and other things in the pipeline. So, folks, that's it. As always, be smart, be safe, be kind, and read some comics.